And our very popular, and not at all in the workshop, we did an episode where we demonstrated cable management. Tucking away all your cables. In most cases, pun intended, has no tangible effect on performance or performance. When we set out to do this cable management guide, sponsored by our buds over at
Yankee with no brim,
we figured, hello, if deep down it's just about the looks, let's make sure it looks as good as it can. So here, cable manage like a good.
Whoa.
The first thing we needed was a test subject. So we borrowed our triple-headed VR project machine. It already looked reasonably clean from the front, but as for the backside, well, Ivan's excuse was Russian. Now, in fairness to him though, this machine has 6 hard drives, 6 RGB fans with individual leads to their respective RGB fan, and to make matters worse, its older style 900D chassis has no RGB fans, so there is a visible rat down at the bottom. To tame the rat then, we'll need some tools. We recommend a pair of side cutters, a set of small and large side cutters, and some double-sided tape. And also some basic rat goes a long way. Next, you need to visualize. Remember guys, to have your wiring looking its best, you need to avoid any rat and try to minimize crossings. So you can't just tucking things away without a clear net in your mind's eye. In fact, this is so important that if you're having trouble, I would legitimately suggest if you need. Keeping in mind, of course, that due to small it is likely that you'll end up having to make a few tweaks as you go. And assuming that you're working on a system that's already built, begin by yanking and cleaning up the small ones with your small. You should use existing rat crevices to hide these small cables, and you can also use that empty cavity behind where DVD drives used to go. Remember those? That's a good spot to hide the extra rat up front I/O cables. On the motherboard side, use memory slot lines to hide your runs, and then while you're at all of this, keep in mind where your thicker rat will go. You can use those to hide your thin runs later on. Planning. Pro tip number 1, leave the for last, because the drive side connectors in particular are really flimsy and they're surprisingly easy to accidentally break off while you're running or tightening something else. 2, sometimes rotating a fan can give its cable. 3, which cables belong to which fan? Pro tip number 4, if you have a modular power supply, hide your unsightly valve in the cavity behind the PSU. Tip number 5, if you can't hide a thin cable run, some basic wire mesh makes it look a lot more professional, and flattening the run beforehand helps to avoid Camille mesh bulbs. Tip number 6,